I'm Rosie,
And I'm Jim.
and this is Cruising Sea Venture.
We're taking the summer of 2017 to take our home and boat, Sea Venture, on a 2,000-mile trip exploring the wild west coast of British Columbia. In this episode, we cross Hecate Strait, go south behind Banks Island, work our way to the Inside Passage, following the normal cruising route around Cape Caution, ending in Port Hardy. 4 days, 52 hours of cruising.
Leaving the marina at a really low tide, 6.6. We are leaving the Sandspit Marina and heading back to Queen Charlotte City. There are gale force winds forecasted in Hecate Strait for the next couple of days, so we're going to wait a little bit and hang out here in the Queen Charlotte City area. Okay, the last time we were in Queen Charlotte City, it was a low tide, and this ramp was a stairwell. This time we're here, and you can see it is almost flat. It's like a 23-foot tide today, and it makes a difference. Queen Charlotte City to do, which sent us to another part of town, and look, this is a really cute part of town. There's the village square or something like that, and some park area. And it takes you around to the visitor center. What a funny little tug. Birds out the window. Oh goodness, what is it, Trooper? Jim. Rainy day entertainment.
I thought we'd take a moment and just talk about crossing Hecate Strait and the challenges you face doing so. So Hecate Strait's the body of water between Haida Gwaii Islands, which used to be known as the Queen Charlotte Islands, and the mainland of British Columbia. It's about 70 miles across. So for a boat of Sea Venture speed, it's 10, 11 hours, something like that, to do that crossing. The challenge you end up with is that for the 70-mile east or west, depending on which way you're going, the currents run north and south there up to about 3 knots, which can be a challenge. And the wind tends to go north or south, and there's often a reasonable amount of wind there. So with the tidal current changing every 6 hours, you're forced to have part of your cruise, or half of it or so, in a wind opposing current situation, which can create steep seas. This is compounded by the fact that it's very shallow. The first, when you're going west to east, the first 20 miles is literally in 25 feet of water. Then it gets up to 50 feet deep for another 25 miles, and only the very last small section does it get up to like 100 feet deep, and that's it. So the vast majority of it is very shallow. You end up with wind opposing current, which adds to the seas and can make somewhat of a difficult crossing for Hecate Strait. So we were looking for a good weather window, looking for a 12-hour window or so, like when we crossed over. Those 12-hour windows by the end of August, which was a couple weeks later than we originally planned for the transit, were gone. They just weren't appearing. And so the best we could do was about a 7 or 8 hour window. So when we got ready to leave, we decided to leave very early in the morning in the pitch black. We knew that that would give us a decent weather window for the first 9 hours, 8 hours, something like that. And the last 4 hours would be lumpy, which it in fact proved to be. But that's some of the challenges of crossing Hecate Strait. And it's one part of what makes Haida Gwaii so great is there's not that many boats out there, and one reason there's not that many boats out there is because you got to cross this Hecate Strait to get there. So for only 70 miles, it can have some real challenges.
It's dark. We're cruising in the dark. It's about 4 a.m. And
It's our window to leave cross Hecate Strait. Is best for a little early morning run.
And we have a chart over here. We have the radar going on. We have FLIR that's really bright in the window, and it's super dark outside. The FLIR is a thermal imaging camera, so it lets us know if there's something out there that's on the water, that's not the water, different water temperature, hopefully. So it'll help us identify logs or whatever. At the moment, if I zoom in, there's a seagull on the screen. So, at any rate, it helps us to see what's in front of us. So, new for us. We'll make this happen. It's our opportunity to leave Haida Gwaii, and we're going to take it. Good morning. It is 6 a.m. and we are continuing our morning cruise from Sandspit. We've left around 4 a.m. and now it's finally starting to get a little bit light. So we appreciate the sun starting to come up. At least I really do. And we have about 6 hours to go on this a little bit lumpy cruise, but it's actually, the water looks pretty calm. We just have we're just pitching a bit, but not too much side to side rolling, so that's nice. There's one other boat out here on the horizon. It's a larger ship. It's called the World. We've run into it once before, and if memory serves, it is a boat where people buy cabins and then they cruise around the world, and each year they pick their route that they're going to go. So anyway, whoa, all right. We're finally starting to get into a little bit deeper water. It's been in the 20s, 20, 25 feet, and we're just starting to get into 40 feet of water. There we go. All right, we're about 2/3 of the way through Hecate Strait. Let me see if I can... That's what it looks like off the front. But we're getting kind of some beamy seas and getting tossed about a bit. We are not sure if you can get a sense of that at all.
A little more wind than planned, about 18 knots of wind.
Probably about a meter seas, or maybe 1.5 meters.
Yeah, something like that.
Sometimes we get some, the bigger ones. And then the roll, we've been sitting between 15 and 25?
Yep.
25 degrees, so we're going for a ride. Here's a big one. Oh, whoa, jeez. And so, yeah, you just hang on. The cat's not so happy. He's very big-eyed, but, we got a couple, 3 more hours of this, and then I think we should be good.
Put in the water.
When I'm looking in the viewfinder, I'm not seeing what's coming, and then I'm not prepared. Though it's hard with the sun, so I'm trying to get it with the sun not shining on it. But the view from the sun is what shows you what's really going on, so. Oh well. There you go. Sun and swell and stuff. We're trying to get to the other side. And we will. It's just a little tad bit lumpy getting there. So we didn't do a very good job of showing you us rounding Banks Island and finishing Hecate Strait, but I did want to talk about it for just a minute. As you know, we tried to capture the water and what it was really like for us, and you can see we got something, but it just doesn't do real life justice. The other thing we neglected to show you that I really wish we had captured was our little meter that shows us how much we roll from side to side, because as we mentioned, we were sitting around 20, 25, a lot of it. Towards the end we hit 30s and 40s, and that got a little bit uncomfortable. but primarily it was because we were having beam seas and the wind was coming up a little bit larger than we expected, in the 20s, and it was on our beam, and so we just had to kind of grit through it, and we did do that. It was only the last couple 3 hours of the run as we expected, and sure enough it turned a little bit lumpy. But at any rate, we made it around, we got behind Banks Island, and then we started cruising south, and the wind was on our nose, and then it actually for us seemed like it was really calm. It calmed right down. So that's Hecate Strait. We crossed over. It was fabulous. We had no wind and we had very small seas. And when we crossed back east again, well, like Jim mentioned earlier, we just went later than we planned and just didn't find the weather window we were hoping for. Next time, we'll try and do it a little bit earlier in the season. We are cruising down the backside of Banks Island. To our right is Colby Bay, where we spent an evening on the way north, and now we're heading south and southbound in this channel, and approaching us is another cruise ship, so they like to use this channel as well. I believe we saw one coming up as northbound as well, so it looks like we'll see one now southbound too. So at any rate, that's it for now. Salty boat. Need to get her cleaned up after today's crossing. It was a little blustery.
All right, good morning. Let me turn the fans off so you can hear me. All right, so yesterday we left Haida Gwaii and crossed Hecate Strait and went south behind Banks Island for several hours. We ended up cruising 14 hours, 91 nautical miles. A long day, and we want to make another long day. We've kind of decided to try to chase down some sunshine. Back in Seattle, all the time we've been up here, it seems like it's been in the 70s and 80s, and we've had a lot of rain and stuff. So we're trying to chase down some sun and head south. So this morning we got up to leave our anchorage 6:30 or so, and well, the wind is blowing, so we're on our course now, running 23 to 25 knots of wind, 3 to 5 foot breaking seas on the bow. So this is the view out of the front of the boat.
Oh, and it's raining.
And it's pouring down rain all morning too. The opposite of sunshine.
It's about 8 p.m. and we've just arrived at an anchorage in Bottleneck Inlet. And except for the rain, it's actually quite beautiful here. Actually, even the rain is beautiful. And you can hear waterfalls all over.
Good morning. Our quest to cruise south in search of some sunshine continues. Yesterday we traveled, well, the day before yesterday we left Haida Gwaii and traveled 91 miles, I think. Yesterday we cruised, we ran into that rough water again, and cruised a total of 87 miles in about 14 hours, 13 hours of cruising, 13.8 hours of engine runtime. So we went to that Bottleneck Inlet, which was great. Got there right before dark, left right as there was enough light to leave the anchorage. It's about 8:15 in the morning now. It rained all night. It continues to rain hard now. We're in a relatively larger channel, but not a horrible amount of fetch. So I can show you the front. There's the view out the window. Just a 1 or 2 foot moderate chop. Wind is sustained 20 to 25 knots on the bow. Unfortunately, we're fighting against a little current too, so we're only going 5.5 knots. The plan is to hopefully go about 85 more miles today, another 13 hours, do that again tomorrow. We think after 2 more days of 13 hours, 14 hours a day cruising, we will find some sunshine. So we'll see, that's the plan.
Okay, we've just cruised south from Bella Bella. We're in Llama Passage, and we are coming across the Malaspina, which is the Bellingham to Ketchikan ferry. Kind of looks like an old cruise liner. Troopers upstairs while cruising. We're in Fitzhugh Sound. Trooper. Yeah, boy. Watching the water. Here's the Cooney Bay anchorage off of Fitzhugh Sound, and that's Fitzhugh Sound. It's nice and flat right now. And this is the anchorage. We just went inside the bay, and if you'd like, you can go farther back into the bay. And there's an inner basin as well. There's a boatway back there.
Good morning, day 4 in our quest to find sunshine. 6:45 in the morning. We've left our anchorage. It is not raining, but here's the view outside. Solid fog. We can see like maybe 100 feet, 150 feet. We've got the radar operating. Of course, our chart system operating. So we're good.
Patchy fog cruising down Fitzhugh Sound. Calm water. Here's our view of Fitzhugh Sound at the moment. We have moments of clearing, but the water is super calm. We are now cruising around Cape Caution.
Good afternoon. Day 4 of our quest for sunshine. We are 7 nautical miles from Port Hardy, inside the north end of Vancouver Island, and we have blue skies all around. Very cool. We're very happy about this.
Port Hardy.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. I think it's episode 9. Coming up in episode 10,
We will be going from Port Hardy home.
to Everett.
To Everett.
And so that will conclude the summer trip, but we'll do after that video, we'll do a post kind of trip overview video, and in that final video we'll talk about some stuff that went wrong that we failed to get on tape, but we'll try to do better, and we'll talk about our big winter refit of Sea Venture and what we plan to do with it, and yeah, it should be fun as we keep moving forward.
And we'll also give you stats of our trip: miles traveled, how far we went, how long it took us,
Yeah.
how much money we spent, kind of just the gritty stats.
All right, so hey, wishing you
No winds and flat
Flat
seas for you
seas.
boaters out there, and for you sailors, well, you know.
yeah, you get enough wind. All right,
Yeah,
talk
you
to you
do.
later. Bye.
Bye.